Hi, I'm James from pixelrefresh.com. I've come to Derby from Leicestershire to visit Retro World, and here I am with Jane, who's here to tell me a little bit about the shop and also how we got to the shop. So prior to Retro World being in existence then, how did we get to this point?
Well, when I met Rob worked at Rolls-Royce and I had a little market stall selling bric-a-brac at Burton Market, and Rob decided to get rid of his Mega Drive. So I said, I'll see if I can sell it. So I took it to the market and it sold instantly, and I sold all the games, and I thought, oh, might be able to make a bit of money here. So then Rob went round all of his mates, and his mates were selling all the SNESs, Mega Drives, Master Systems, because the N64 had just come out, so everybody wanted an N64. So he bought lots and lots of stuff, and then I started making money, and we were like, oh. And then we basically ended up with lots of stock, and then we walked around the Eagle Market. And I love the Eagle Market. We walked all around and there was a stall going, and we applied for it.
Now, how are you finding it, having a physical location compared to having a stall?
We love it. We love it. We can set it up nice. So we've got all like cabinets, glass display cabinets that we can put stuff in. So if customers can feel free to look round, relax. We're not on them as soon as they walk through the door. We like to let them look round and have a look.
Which is the best part, isn't it? Because from the front, it looks quite a narrow store. So you think, oh, how big is this store until you get inside?
Yeah,
and there's a big long length to it.
2 foot wider, really, but it's long, and we didn't think we'd fill it. And within about 3 months, we were like, we need more cabinets, we need more bookcases, and it expanded quite quick. So yeah, filled it pretty quick.
And you have a website, but really the perfect place to come is actually here, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got a website. I think with this sort of stuff, people like to pick it up, have a look at it, see the condition of it, and it's a nice physical. You've got something physical to look at as well. I think people love that as well. That's that side of it.
That's an interesting point, because everything's now going into digital stores.
Yeah, no,
so
we don't want that.
Picking up a cartridge or a disc, it's not this.
Yeah,
you know, it's completely detached from this digital world we're now in.
Yeah, you're not owning anything as such. So yeah,
it's almost like a loan, isn't it, in the digital realm? But here, it's actually tangible.
Yes.
I can touch things, and
you can pick things up.
It's real. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're a bit of a collector yourself.
Yeah. What
things do you like to collect?
Mega Drive games, a bit obsessed with collecting those. Game Boy games, I love those as well. But I'm a very nerdy collector, so I like stuff to be pristine. I like the Mega Drive games have the hang tabs. I like the manual to be complete and nice, not written on, which a lot are, obviously. Or the front page is gone. So yeah, I'm very a nerdy collector, I would say.
So this wasn't just a store to make money, it was something you're personally invested in as well.
Yeah, we're interested in it, yeah. I love arranging as well, so I like to arrange the shop. It's always been rearranged. I always get customers coming and go, you move stuff around, but yeah.
Well, it's in alphabetical order.
Yeah, it's all nerdily in alphabetical order.
Yes, we were looking earlier at the labels in the alphabetical order and these fantastic glass cabinets with more lights than a Christmas tree.
Yes.
But you can actually see what you're looking for, which is always handy.
Hopefully, yeah.
So what about the younger generations that come in? They must see, at the minute you've got Pokemon on your front door, Sonic and Mario. When they come in, what do you think their expectation is, and how do they sort of connect with this retro?
Well, they come in with their mum and dads, and their mum and dads will be saying, oh, I had this and I had that. And some kids just aren't really interested, but some kids, we've got a woman that comes in with her son, he's about 12, and he's collecting every single type of Game Boy. And he snaps them up, and he's super obsessed, and that's nice to see. So it is passing down onto younger generations, we think.
That's fantastic, because that gives longevity not just to retro, but for people like you who have an independent store to have a future with it as well.
Yeah, but we are finding like people that are, should we say, a bit older, who had consoles back in the day and then sold them and regret it. They come in and they're like, I want a Super Nintendo again, or I want a Mega Drive again, and then they want their favourite games. So yeah, we find that a lot. Yeah, obviously they've got a bit of disposable income now. So
yes, indeed. Yeah. And this is 2024. So in another 5 years' time, what is considered fairly current now is going to suddenly get that tag of retro.
Yeah.
But we have got some PS3, quite a few PS3 games.
We do the PS3. It's probably about the latest we go to is PS3.
Well, that's quite a nice, unique system, because there's no true backwards compatibility for it. So unless you've actually got a PlayStation 3, you're in a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a point where Sony cuts off the online store, as Nintendo's just done recently with the 3DS.
Yeah.
and the Wii U.
Yeah.
So yeah, physical, something tangible. It's always nice.
That's what we're hearing a lot. People are thinking, I say, well, you know, I've got something to look at, I've got something to collect, I've got something to play. So yeah, and you're owning something, you know. And also with the retro side of it, I think quite a lot of it you have to pick and choose, but it goes up in value. I always say to customers, it's like having money in the bank. Just it does go up in value, especially if it's boxed, and the box is nice. Here
I am with Rob, who's going to show us these some nostalgia and memories.
I'll show you some of your childhood dreams.
Oh, there we go. Well, where shall we start?
Okay.
It looks like it's all N64 in the first one.
N64. Now, I had the entire collection at some point in the past. I really shouldn't have sold it, but we all make our mistakes.
You do indeed.
Some fantastic games in stock at the moment. Turok Free, especially good. The special edition Turok figure in the middle. Very hard to get. I believe you have to send away for that. And then we do unbox games and cartridges too. Who didn't love GoldenEye?
That's what most people think of the N64. It's either that.
That's why I ran out and bought one. I ran to the nearest dealer and bought one. 4-player really saved Christmas one year.
Oh, yeah.
And loads of family rows. And I had the hugest TV. It was 29-inch.
For CRT, that was large.
that was pretty impressive back then.
Don't think of your LCDs and OLEDs. 29-inch would have been quite a big beast of a
huge.
TV.
Back to front, it was absolutely massive. It was like that, weighed 2 ton, but brilliant days. By the way, I've owned most of these consoles, or nearly every single one at the time when they were released. We've got the Master System, which was a great Sega console. We did collect quite half a collection of these at one point before we sold them.
Oh dear.
Again.
Now, when we say sold them, you mean like you had a personal collection that you
Personal collection we had to sell. We needed a deposit on a house. We had to raise some money quickly. So, unfortunately, like the rest of us, sometimes we have to sell. One of my favourite consoles below that, the SEGA Saturn. Came out at the same time as the PlayStation 1 and got completely destroyed, I'm afraid.
Yes, its original retail price wouldn't have helped there.
No. $299 for the PlayStation 1 did it for me, and I jumped ship. I'm afraid, but there's some great games. Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Warcraft. Dark Savior was always good. And Nights into Dreams, the demo disc, Christmas.
Oh, yes. I remember getting that on a magazine.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
You had to be in a Christmas mood, though, because it wasn't real
you had
Christmas.
to set it to Christmas to get your extras. This, obviously, Dreamcast. The Resident Evil games on the Dreamcast were brilliant.
The last Sega console, unfortunately.
Yeah. It is a shame. I got one early on, but unfortunately, within a year, I'd already sold it. But there's some great stuff on there.
There's a fair few Mega Drive games here as well.
Some beautiful games. Maximum Carnage. EA Hockey. John Madden 90. We used to throw these in the bin in the day and keep the boxes. They were that unwanted. But now, if you're going for a full collection, what impressed me on the Mega Drive was Echo the Dolphin. The graphics on that, it just blew if you've got Amiga, it sort of blew the graphics away. It wasn't that greatly playable, but it looked fantastic.
And the Amiga was no slouch.
No,
it was just like the Mega Drive just felt like it was another step forward. Sneaking right at the back there, we've got Doom for the 32X.
Yeah, we've got a few 32X games. Well, another Doom. And some Mega CD stuff.
A boxed Doom 32X. There we go, look at that.
That's it, June on the Mega CD. Rebel Assault, there's some good stuff there. Oh, and a multi-tap. Not that I ever played more than 2-player on a Mega Drive. Anybody remembers getting that off the front of...
Turbo taps. Well, that's the way you had to get the information because there was no internet.
Yeah, back then. No internet.
It was either a very expensive guide or the odd magazine and hope that featured the game you were interested in.
I mean, it was still really poor dial-up in the year 2000 from what I can recall because I had a Dreamcast then. I was trying to go multiplayer.
Oh, gosh.
Now we're on to the PlayStation games.
The one that quite spectacularly beat the Saturn.
Yeah.
And most other consoles, actually.
It's also destroyed the 3DO, Panasonic 3DO, which I had in the house as well.
You see, when I think of 3DO, I'm actually thinking of good old Gex.
Road Rash on the 3DO was my favourite.
Yeah.
The sound, the effects. The fact EA lost several million making it. But it was that good. Classic Resident Evil now. Down there. Metal Gear Solid. Spent nearly an hour on those.
Yep.
Rage Racer. Now I love Rage Racer. Going down, we've got different joypads. One that looks like a SNES one for some reason. Spyro, classic.
So of all the consoles and games you've got, let's focus on the console specifically. What is like the biggest one at the minute that people are looking to collect for?
Mainly, it's N64. People are really collecting the N64 stuff now. They've gone mad over it. Last year it was a GameCube, but now they've moved. So, yeah, N64.
And how would you explain that? Is there any sort of key that might... Is it age or what is it?
It's trends. It just goes in trends. We never quite know. A Master System is making a comeback now. People have started collecting that.
And we continue to move along now into the realms of the Game Boy.
Game Boy Advance, a very popular console, especially the clamshell. Stopped the screen getting damaged, which was really good.
Yeah, Nintendo had an interesting history with the portable handhelds. Like the first generation probably wasn't the one to get.
No.
And then you'd wait for the, like
nice
this one, the later one. And it's certainly nice and portable. Okay? Nice and ditty, the cartridge as well.
Great games on there.
And now we suddenly hit
some of the rarer PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah. So
on a light gun you could still use on your modern TV because they had a sensor bar on it.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah. Who doesn't love the Silent Hills?
And then going down a little bit further.
One of my favourite consoles, the Panasonic 3DO.
Have we mentioned it's all alphabetical and labelled yet?
We haven't mentioned that.
Oh, we should definitely mention this.
Maybe not this, but most of the sections are. And Wing Commander 3 was one of the very best games on the 3DO. Much better than the PC version. There's some great stuff on that. Unfortunately, I think it launched at £600, £800.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that's why it's no longer with us. But a great machine.
Really, they were selling the technology spec. So Sony would make the money back by licensing and selling the games.
Yeah.
So they were in it for more of the long run. 3DO, if another manufacturer picked that up to sell, they'd have to make the money out the console itself.
Yeah.
Hence the higher price, unfortunately.
But there's some great stuff on there. Need for Speed, Road Rash, Wing Commander, to name a few.
Yeah. It's nice to see you've actually got some 3DO things, because I'm imagining they're getting quite rare now.
They are, yes. We've had one a year. So, very rare. And
some coins.
A few collectible coins. They just come in with other stuff. But yeah, it's retro.
It is indeed.
Especially 1966.
This is what we used to buy the games with. Before contactless payments. Ooh.
Our original Game Boy. There's some great stuff on there. An original Game Boy. The green screen it's pretty terrible now when you look at it, but that's all we got back then.
Well, that does show that also the longevity of retro, that there's so many modifications you can get for existing consoles. One, you've got to try and get it to work on your modern screen TV.
Exactly.
Secondly, replacing the screen with some modern variant. I've done that with a Sony PSP, and it looks so much better.
We sell lots of broken ones, and people put their own screens in.
Yeah.
Oh, another Road Rash again. Beautiful Road Rash.
Yes, it was the game that went on many platforms in the end.
Every system going.
Nearly as bad as Lemmings.
Now, GameCube.
Now, this fits in quite interestingly as well, because this is around the era of PlayStation 2. And I think this was probably the last time Nintendo thought, right, we're going to try and compete with PlayStation and Xbox. You look at the Switch and the Wii, they're not in any way comparable to the other generation of consoles.
No.
They decided we're going to have to go for not a gimmick, something that was unique. The Wii, it was the controllers, which followed the GameCube, and it wasn't much faster than the GameCube.
No. And we don't really stock many Wii games, because it's not very popular at the moment.
That will change.
It will change.
That will change. We'll all remember how fun it is to wave our arms in the air with those motion controllers.
And the Wii U is just taking off now. People are starting to collect. Got loads of memory cards when you needed a memory card in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Japanese import stuff.
Oh, I'll behave. Austin Powers for the Game Boy Color.
And a 4-way adapter.
Can't imagine what an Austin Powers game would be like.
I haven't played it. And Pokemon cards. We sell a lot of Pokemon cards. I did used to sell these in the day, 99. And I did have some Charizards, which are now worth quite a few thousand, first editions.
Oh, jeez.
And they were getting about 50 quid back then. But Pokemon died off, and all the traders just stopped selling them and sold the collections. I just practically gave up. We thought, it's never going to last. And now, look, they're back.
It's funny, isn't it? You get a surge or something, then it dies off for a bit, and then all of a sudden, it surges again.
Yeah, it's popular as ever now. Kids, adults. Yeah, it's generally young children or their 40-year-old parents.
Books here as well.
We sell a lot of guides. So, hardback,
Gears of War 3, nice,
classics. Got that back. Yeah. And obviously Monopoly, because that, but more guides. Tomb Raider, ever popular.
Yeah, well, we are in Derby.
Oh, the Crisis backpack hiding away there.
And we have got an actual Lara Croft figure in the background. What's the history of this?
Oh, we bought that for ourselves. Actually, it came from London. We had to send a friend up to bring her back. And we've had her forever. A few arcade machines. Young children like to play Pac-Man. We have some classic PC games. And Amiga. And Spectrum and all sorts.
Okay, let's have a quick look here then. What are some of the highlights?
Come here. I don't know much of highlight. That one is this is nice. Douglas Adams, Starship Titanic. There you go. Graphic Adventure. Point and click. I seem to remember it was very difficult.
Some really were. I remember playing Discworld, and pre-internet, that was hard work.
That's in the wrong place, but it's a Philips CDI controller.
Interesting design for sure.
I know. I think that was for. And then what we got? BBC Micro stuff. The good old cassette. Look at that, kids. Cassettes.
Wow. That's when loading really was loading.
And it took a while.
It really did.
War of the Worlds again. We do like the big box PCs. The collectors love to put them on the shelf. Amiga stuff. Still stock Amiga titles. Fantastic machine. I had one for years.
It really was. I mean, everyone at the time had
either
an Amiga
ST or an Amiga.
Atari ST, yeah.
There was a console war.
I was that weird kid. I had the Acorn Archimedes.
Oh, okay.
That was
that was expensive.
It was.
So you spoiled one.
I was, but it didn't have the biggest game library in the world.
Unfortunately.
Had some of the key ones though, which was nice. But yeah, certainly not in the Atari ST or Amiga realm.
We have Spectrum stuff. Combat Links. Yeah. On cassette, loads of Spectrum games in. Commodore 64 games in. Don't see very many Amstrad games, but
Alan Sugar would be most upset.
Dynamite Dan. Quid. Classic. There's no pictures on these, so that's the only trouble with these cassette boxes.
Well, you had to be careful with some of them because you'd look on the back, and if it did have screenshots, you couldn't always guarantee it's for the system you're buying it for.
If it's a Spectrum, it would look different.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the Acorn Electron.
Yeah, the Electron.
Yeah,
going back a little bit further.
Anyway, yeah, look. Not as much, I've got to say. It's not as popular as PlayStation 2 or anything, but I love it, the old stuff, so we definitely keep it stocked. We have magazines. First edition.
Oh, okay.
Megatech, 1991.
Wow.
Obviously, Retro Gamer. Super Action, #1. SEGA Pro, #1. They got some of the first releases of these magazines.
And these are probably some of the things that probably aren't getting quite the attention yet, but give it another few years.
Yeah. Everybody threw them away.
Yeah.
Stored them in the loft.
Absolutely. Lots of magazines.
Now, our spares and repairs section. We always have these in consoles. We haven't got the time to fix ourselves, but the customers can, or they can mod them.
Yeah, so Mega Drive, PlayStation 2, Atari 2600. The original design.
Yeah, the 6-switch Woody.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, because these last forever, so I don't know why these are broke. Normally they last forever.
There'll be someone there who'll just buy it because they'll enjoy the fixing process.
But the cases, the fake wood that lasts forever, it's like 40 odd years old now.
Yeah.
Yeah, fake wood.
It looks of the era, but there is a design about it, isn't it? That's
appealing. It's gone back in fashion. It seems to have come all the way back. Got an old PC at the bottom. Pentium 266 megahertz. An Atari green screen monitor that actually works fine. So not spares repairs.
Something a little bit more modern. 360, original Xbox.
Old phones. There you go. Who owns
Now that's
those?
something that will be chucked away or kept in a drawer.
Yeah.
And some of these could be quite valuable one day.
Light gun. With a battery port missing, obviously. That's what went first.
Yeah. And we've got something hiding down here as well, a nice Amstrad.
Oh yeah, we've got an Amstrad. Original Xboxes. With pedal controller, I'm not even sure.
How are you finding original Xbox demand? Because now there's this wonderful thing where a service called, well, a free service, community built Insignia, which allows you to play all these Xbox Live games again. Well, as many of them.
It's still very popular. Yeah, people want the actual disc. They want the machine there, especially the crystal one. They want the disc. They want a collection, Halo, up to whatever it went to, and and there was some exclusives that only they got. So
I mean, playing Halo 2 online is still a blast.
Yeah, still very popular.
And you can, of course, the LAN feature. You could connect multiple Xboxes together, and that was a wonderful experience. Yeah.
A good section of NES and SNES. Nintendo Zapper, fantastic. Duck Hunt, another classic. The number of copies of All Stars we sell. Hundreds.
The famous Home Alone scene. Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Dragon. See to remember that not being that good. Street Fighter Turbo. There's always arguments. Should you get the Turbo one or the standard?
Yeah, good old Super Nintendo. Came a bit out after the Mega Drive. Had a slightly slower CPU, but it could certainly push colours and some splendour on the screen.
The American import games, Contra 3. Oh, the Terminator. Looks funny.
So for you personally then, what's the one system that's stuck out for you? It's got that real spark, or isn't there that one?
Obviously the N64, because I collected for it and collected every single game, even the American exclusives from Blockbuster, which are really hard to get, especially now. So I love the N64 and GoldenEye. And I also love the Panasonic 3DO, which was a great console. And then I love the PlayStation as well, so I love quite a few of them.
That's good.
And I've owned most of them. We have some of our rarer items that we keep behind the counter. Some Japanese import games. Some beautiful condition. We've got Golden Axe. We have a sticker on when they look mint.
I'll try and get us to the light.
Yeah.
This is the Asian version. But that is beautiful. Just like it came out of the factory. That's how we like to see them.
And then you've got some more.
And we have more.
Shadow Dance.
We do have sealed games as well. Shadow Dance looks at Splatterhouse 2, old classic. You got that now? Again, like it came out of the factory. Beautiful. And we have more. We've got Double Dragon. The Incredible Hulk on the Master System. Now that's rare.
Super rare.
Some sealed games at the bottom. Power Stone Collection. That's brand new and sealed still. Some collectors like them in the shrink wrapped. Personally not. I like to play them, but it's up to them. Again, some Dreamcast stuff. Oh, some beautiful Mega CD games. Classic shoot 'em up. And hiding at the back, Shining Force. Again, looking brand new. And obviously we do sell a collection of figures as well. Halo Reach, some Zelda stuff. NES console. We've got it all. Over there, we've got a Jaguar, not one of my favourite consoles, but it's very popular now. They're starting to collect again.
Oh, 64-bit?
Yeah, 64-bit, and the joypad was just awful. Fallout merchandise, the series was very popular. I did binge watch it at 2 in the morning as well, which you had to come to work, didn't you, Jane? Yes. Yes, I didn't feel well after watching 8 hours of Fallout, but it was well worth it.
But you didn't fall in.
No.
No, you were fine about it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for showing me around Retro World.
Yeah, no problem.
How can we find out more about your shop?
We're on Google. We've got a big Facebook presence. We do Facebook every day.
We're on TripAdvisor.
TripAdvisor.
Our main advertising's through our Facebook page, which we put loads of these stock on. So if you follow our Facebook page, Derby Retro World, that'd be appreciated. And come and see us.
Yeah, come and see
We're
us.
here in Derby City Centre every day, and some Sundays as well.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot.